Hola amigos! So today we are going to talk about, in the context of living in a car, how much I spend a month. So I'm going to be breaking it down into a couple of categories and then also sharing my expenses for September and October to kind of compare the two, so you can kind of get a feel for, like, a well-rounded average type of thing and see how it can change from month to month. So without further ado, let's just get right into the numbers, and a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Okay, actually, before we start, just a quick couple of things. So one, if you're watching this to kind of, maybe you're interested in doing something similar, like car camping, living out of a vehicle, going on the road, however, if you're looking for a number to be like, how much does it cost to live on the road? I'm just gonna go ahead and outright tell you, like, I personally just feel like I can't answer that for you, because in my opinion it can kind of cost like as little to a certain extent or as much as you want it to cost, just because there's so many factors. So I can, I'm just going to share with you my numbers and hopefully that will give you an idea. But there's things like how often you move, how far or fast you travel, where you stay, whether you're paying for campgrounds or free campsites, or you're getting like the more deluxe ones versus the cheaper ones, which are going to have different amenities, and that's also based on what kind of a rig you're in. And then there's things also like what kind of food you eat, and I mean that in the sense of, like, if you are someone who loves to travel, like, you're a foodie, you like to go to the restaurants, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of what you prioritize, in your personal preferences and your personal travel style. So all of that kind of plays into how much you're going to spend. The best thing I can do is recommend that you take your finances and budget and then allot the money accordingly, based on your, like, what you want to spend or how much you make or however that works for you. So there's that. We're going to be talking about 5 specific categories: gas, food, water, camping, and laundry. So that is what these expenses in the month of September and October are going to be. And the reason that I'm doing September and October is because those 2 months are specific pertaining to the Honda Civic. So this is not going to be the same as the van. That's a whole nother topic. So all that to say that these expenses are going to be those 5 categories specifically and only, because there are things that are not included in this, such as any bills or debt payments that I have, or there's another category in my finance tracking called etc., which is basically anything besides all the things that I listed. So for instance, if I wanted to buy a sticker for my travel scrapbook, that would be etc. If I needed a new pair of shoes, etc. If I need shampoo, stuff like that, all of that is etc. And then of course, as I said, debt and bills is excluded as well, because those don't really pertain to the vehicle dwelling lifestyle. It's more of just like my personal stuff. So, and yes, if you live in a car, you still have bills. I mean, at least I do. Maybe some people magically don't. But anyways, yes, just keep that in mind, that my numbers may or may not reflect what would work for you. It just kind of depends on your preferences, priorities, and lifestyle, and your travel style. And then the numbers that I'm going to show you are specific to those 5 categories that I think are the most common expenses on the road. All right, so here it is. Nothing fancy, but let me kind of just show you what you're looking at. This side is September. This side is October, and I've broken it down to, this is the total for 2 people, how much we spent in each of these categories for the whole month altogether. And then just so you can get a better idea, this is per person, so just this total divided by 2. And then I just went ahead and did the same thing over here. This is the total in all of these categories for October, and then I broke it down per person divided by 2 on this side. Let's just go ahead and start with the breakdown of September. So these right here are the 5 categories: gas, food, water, camping, and laundry, because those are just kind of the main expenses. So for the entire month of September, two people put together, we spent $294.21 in gas, $540.19 in food. And I know that that sounds like kind of a lot, and it is for sure, but this includes eating out and just any kind of splurge purchases or whatever in the food category. So, and per person, it ends up being $270 for an entire month, y'all. Like, that's really to me, that's really good. Like, that's really not that bad. So for water, we spent $23.33. It's about $12 a person. For camping, $328.27 per person, $164.14. And this, again, this is where you have a lot of flexibility with the camping. The camping and the gas is like everything, because kind of like water, you're gonna need water, and that, I'll talk about that in a second, more for October. But and the laundry, like, you've got to do your clothes, you know. I mean, well, I guess technically you don't, but in my brain and the way the world works for me, I gotta have clean clothes, so I can't really fluctuate too much there. I feel like I have the most control over my finances in the gas, the food, and the camping category. So for instance, let me turn you back to the numbers. Like I just showed you, we spent roughly $330 in camping, but this included, like, y'all, it included so many awesome campgrounds that normally, okay, I am a firm believer in free camping. Ever since years ago when I discovered that that was a thing, I was like, I never want to pay for camping again. And typically I don't. At least very, very often. It's more of like a luxury, and if I decide to splurge on something, it's going to be some like prime camping. But for this specific trip, I was okay with spending that much on camping, and so was Jonathan, because there were specific places that we wanted to go. For instance, Yellowstone. And overall, it was just going to be easier for us to camp in the park, and that's just what we decided to do, you know. And since we're not paying rent or anything like that. That's the thing too with like all these numbers. You have to keep in mind that rent is not a thing. Essentially, to me, rent is gas and camping. So if you take this, camping was like $330, gas is almost $300. So that's less than $650 for two people. And that's essentially what our rent was. Like, I am a-okay with that. Anyway, so getting back to the point, then on laundry for two people, we spent $46.25. So divide that in half, it was about $25 per person. That's about $1,200 per month for two people. Divide that in half, it's like $620, because that would be $1,240, which is close to that. So yeah, because these I just kind of rounded because some of them aren't, you know, even, so dividing by 2 is like awkward. Whatever, you get the general idea. For September, we spent about $1,300, and so that would be like $650 per person if you want to just like round up on all of it. So again, just to clarify, that would be as far as like living expenses go, because I just don't want to give anyone the wrong impression and be like, oh yeah, like you're only going to spend like $700 if you live in a car and you're whatever. It's like, well, let me show you October. Actually, that's why I wanted to do 2 months, so we can compare, because this makes a difference. So gas was $188.64, food $502.25, water $11.96, camping $177.06, laundry $16.25. So for the month of October in 2019, two people, we spent $896.16. Divide that all in half, $450 per person. Now, let's do some comparing. So you've got $294, $188. That's about $100 difference. And that, my friends, is what I'm talking about, how you have control over these numbers in this lifestyle. You don't want to pay the extra $100 that month in gas? Don't move. Don't go that far. It's actually really simple and one of my favorite things about this lifestyle. So in the food category, we spent roughly the same amount, about $500. Water was cut in half. So I mentioned this previously, but for September, there were very, very specific places that we were going, that we knew we're gonna be spending a little bit more money. So for October, we really focused on not spending a lot on campsites and things like that, and staying at free campsites where we could also get free water. So that is why this was able to be cut in half. So this is another category where you kind of have a lot of leverage on how much you spend, because you can do things, creative solutions like get a Berkey or some sort of other water filtration system, and I would say probably most of the time have free water, but specifically for the Honda, because it was just like a fun little experiment and testing it out and whatever, we just didn't want to bother with that. So this includes, actually, I should mention this, the water includes drinking water and water for showering and water for cooking and water for cleaning. So considering all of that, okay, then we get to the camping one. Again, lots of room to play with what works for your specific budget. We spent almost $350 here, $200 here. Huge difference, because again, very specific places where we paid for a lot of campsites and we were totally okay with that. We planned for that. We knew that was going to happen. And because of that, we planned for October to be more focused on free campsites and things of that nature. There were some where we still went to places where it just made more sense to do it this way, especially because you have to weigh the factors of what's included. If you work online, Wi-Fi, kind of worth paying for sometimes if it's necessary for your existence or for you to make money or whatever. Our showers included. Do you get a place to wash dishes? Do you, all kinds of things. What kind of area is it in? How safe is it? So do you want to do the free campsites, or would you rather just pay for like that extra security feeling? I don't know. So just lots of things. But either way, I don't think that $200 a month in camping is a lot. Some of you might, especially because of the fact that there's a lot of free camping in the world. But just the areas that we were going to, sometimes it made more sense to just go ahead and pay for it. So it's just a balancing act, Okay, now laundry. Okay, so for laundry, $50 here, $20 here, rounded. The difference being that in October, because we did a lot of free camping, there was a lot less access to laundromats. Does that make some of you happier? I feel like everyone says laundromat though. I've never heard someone be like laundromat. Anyways, besides the point. We had to, sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere, camping, yada, 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 BLM land, National Forest land. So there wasn't a laundromat close by. Like there just wasn't, which is fine. So we focused more on hand washing clothes versus the month of September, where we spent $50, we only used laundromats. And I have a feeling some of you are going to ask, so I do have a portable washing machine for the van, but we did not bring it in the Honda because that thing is big. Like it's pretty huge. There was just no way it was going to fit unless we got like a cargo box or a little trailer thing. And as I've mentioned previously, we weren't going to do that because this isn't the Honda is not intended to be a permanent setup or solution. It was just like, I don't know, I just wanted to try it and see what it was like. So, and verdict, it was pretty cool. So that was my financial breakdown for the first 2 months of living in a Honda Civic. I hope that helped you in some way, whether you were just curious or thinking about doing something similar and you just wanted to get an idea of how much it could potentially cost. So again, the totals here for 2 people was about $1,300 for September and then about $900 for October. I hope that this was easy to understand through all of my babbling and tangents. And if you want something that's even easier to understand, you should check out Squarespace. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create their websites. Squarespace allows you to link your various social media accounts to your website so you can post simultaneously to all accounts. And site management has never been easier, as Squarespace allows you to edit your posts and comments on the go using their mobile app. So if that interests you at all, you can go to squarespace.com/hoboahle and get a free trial or 10% off your first purchase. And once I'm back in the van, I will probably be doing one of these financial breakdowns for the van. I don't know, like, do you guys want to see that? And if you do you want to see like just the van for 1 month, 2 months? Do you want to see the van in comparison to the Honda expenses? Yeah, let me know. What do you want to see? What do you want to know? And I will try my best to share that with y'all. So that is all for now. I will catch you guys in the next video.